Good morning, guys. How are we all doing? So Dan from Trading with Dan here. This is our Bitcoin morning update. So if you guys wouldn't mind smashing that like button, and we shall go straight over to those Bitcoin 4-hour charts. So yeah, Bitcoin on the 4-hour, we have put in a high at the midpoint of our range here, the midpoint of our upper range at this level of obviously a lot of previous price action, and we are now coming back down to test our support level once again. Obviously, within this trend here, you can see we've got a high. Well, we've got a low here, a high, and then a lower low, and then a lower high. So we are in a downtrend here on this short term. Obviously, we were in an uptrend here. We are now currently in a bit of a shorter term downtrend. So what do we need to do? We need to get supported by this support level again. We need to take out these highs, pretty much bang on 40,000, practically call it, can't we? Take out 40,000 again, and then we need to basically make a move for, I mean, realistically, I would say above these highs here around 41,000 to then trigger a move. What I then will think would be able to blast us through this resistance, even if it's only over the weekend for some weekend fun above 42,000. But failing all that, we are clearly looking at a sorts of head and shoulders, which we did speak about potentially forming in I think a couple of days ago. But realistically though, the neckline is going to be roughly this support level here. So if we do lose this support level, especially these wick lows at 37,000, then yeah, realistically we'll be coming down to test this support level, and then potentially the support level below that. But we would really need to hold this level, otherwise things are not gonna look too good. Yes, obviously we could get supported and turn back around from the $33,000 level, but just being in the bottom half of this wider range just clearly give us a bias to breaking the downside of the wider range as opposed to the upside. So again, another inflection point this morning. We need to get supported here and push on up. Obviously the market is fully focused on Ethereum, which is doing great things. If we want to go over to Ethereum Satoshi pairing, as you can see from these recent lows, we've had a very nice move, and you can see our level of resistance here. That lines up with this previous high here. We are looking to break through that. So if we do break through that, then yeah, I mean the next level is into here. So yeah, plenty of room to run then. And we do also have our larger time frame, just looking at the breakout of this consolidation to basically upside. Obviously we do know that we prefer horizontals as opposed to these diagonal trend lines, and this is the important horizontal realistically here. This one was obviously of semi-importance, but we could still just kind of peter out and trade sideways. But once we take out this one, we are fully and formally way above the trend lines, downward sloping trend lines, and also above the first major horizontal. So yeah, we would be looking good for acceleration to the upside. Continued acceleration to the upside. We clearly are accelerating to the upside at the moment. If we just have a quick look where we are off the lows against Bitcoin, at present sitting about 20%. So that is not bad. That is not too bad. So Ethereum looking good. We want to have a look at the USD pairing also. You can see it's kind of wider range here. It has got this kind of range we built in here. We are approaching the top of that. So yeah, I mean the top side of it is about 2,900. So above 2,900, we do start to enter the fun zone. And then what I will potentially expect is acceleration into this zone, and then we'll come back and back test it, and then hopefully hold 2,900, form a support, and then kind of trade sideways within this wider range before breaking out to the upside. But obviously we could get a swing failure, we could get a wick above over the weekend, and then come back down, and then potentially come down as low as 2,400 would be a nice level if we're going to come and back test a nice level. That would be, as you can see, in a level of importance. Maybe we wake up. If we do lose this, 2400 would be the line in the sand. If we do turn up from there, things looking good. Obviously, as long as we get back above 2900. But if we don't, then yeah, things will not be looking too good. But obviously, this is a dollar value, and we can still get dragged around by Bitcoin. I feel Ethereum is leading the market a bit at the moment, but Bitcoin is obviously the king. Bitcoin is the king, and it is not necessarily well, to be honest, like we said, it's not necessarily looking like it wants to break up into the net above 42,000 anytime soon. Like I will keep repeating, you just have to go. The trend is your friend, and the trend is clearly sideways within this wider range. That is the current trend since basically since late May. Sideways within this range. We are now in August now. This is a long time for us to be in this range, and that is just testament to the trend being your friend. So realistically, you just gotta bet. You got to default to the fact we will be trading sideways within this range still until we're not. But that has to be the bias. So yeah, realistically, still trading sideways, even if we're in this upper half. Obviously, great. If we're in the top quarter, then also great. But yeah, sideways maybe for another month or two, maybe. Who knows? But obviously, we will wait for horizontal confirmations above 42,000 to then say, right, we are gonna basically trade higher. Or obviously come down and then take out this level, but that's not what we need to discuss at the moment. It's not that's not the immediate concern. So yeah, but like I keep saying, trading sideways is fine for me, especially if you do just trade sideways and altcoins do get some lift off, as long as ultimately we are not seeing like a blow off top. A relative blow off top in the altcoins before Bitcoin then does take a big dump below 30,000. As long as ultimately we do get the break above, then that is all fine and dandy. But yes, let's have a look at that DXY having a little bit of a bounce yesterday. A little bit of a bounce into our resistance here again. Doesn't want to come down as of yet. So let's see how we interact with this resistance. Do we get rejected and come back into the mid zone? If we do, I would potentially be expecting us then to test the lower point, the lower support, and then maybe we break through. But obviously at the moment we've got to get rejected properly here first, because we could climb back above here, and then like we said, this will just be a nice higher low relative to this low here, obviously relative to these lows here, and we would still be in a nice bullish trend. And at that point, but breaking back above this resistance here, you would then have to say there's a decent chance of us breaking above this resistance here, and yeah, all sorts of potential carnage ensuing in risk assets. Bitcoin dominance obviously getting dragged down by Ethereum being the major proponent of this. But yeah, as you can see, this horizontal, we're getting below it now. This trend line clearly below it also. And yeah, so good horizontal to take out. This is the next one we take out. It's basically curtains for this asset to the downside, and then yeah, altcoins should start to have a lot of fun. What else do we want to look at here? Not too much else. The 10-year yield, as you can see, just doing its downward thing at the moment. This kind of needs to reverse this downtrend and at least just trade sideways. Otherwise, it's going to start to worry the market. There are people, there are macro analysts that are now thinking that we are basically going into a more deflationary environment. So that obviously is getting indicated by the 10-year, but obviously this is not going to be good for commodity or asset prices, risk assets. But that all being said, we could get stagflation, in which case they could still do okay against a poor economic backdrop. What else do you want to look at? Nothing else on here. Just want to look at these stochastics in Bitcoin, just to check we're doing okay. 4 hour doing his best to try and hold us hold us above this, above obviously this support level we've got here. But it is gonna get tired. We need the 10 hour, 12 hour and daily to start coming back on our side. But I suspect with this move down, at least some of these high time frames are not looking so good. But 10 hour has turned back up, so maybe 10 hour. We've got 10 hour on our side now. Obviously, it was looking pretty tired last time. Well, not tired, but pretty extended. But yeah, we got it. Moving back up from a low base, so maybe we can obviously hold this level we're at. 12 hour looking to turn back up as well. Daily though, daily is kind of looking like the 12 hour did look before. It's got plenty of room to drag us down. 2-day has turned back down now as well. And 3-day looking good, 5-day looking good, weekly obviously turning up from a lower base, and then these are just the same as ever because they don't change that often. But again, looking at that, pretty convoluted read. Just potentially suggesting sideways. We can either come back up and test the top side, no problems there. We can come back and test the $35,000 support, no real problems there. Only problems if we start to take out 35 and then obviously move towards 33. But yeah, just realistically just sideways, especially waiting for hopefully for those bi-weekly and monthly stochastics to turn back up. The weekly to start to move nicely to the upside, and then we'll wait for the rest to align, and then potentially we'll get a pop back up. When that happens, maybe 2 weeks, maybe a month, maybe 2 months. We shall have to see. But that is just the crystal ball analysis. But obviously, we got levels of confirmations, clear levels to look out for anyway. If we just monitor price action in real time anyway, we don't need to make these longer term projections. But yeah, so there you go. This is not financial advice. I am not a financial advisor, so always do your own research, and I shall speak to you guys soon.